Hi grade 4s, welcome to your next lesson of Recorder. Today we have a classic hit and hopefully you're awake because we're going to get straight into it because we have a new note that's going to be slightly trickier. Actually, it's going to be one of the trickiest notes that you've done so far. So I need your attention and I need you to pay very close attention to the detail on your recorder, okay? So let's start off by just reminding ourselves of our notes so that we can now bring in this next note, okay? So as usual, we have our first note, G. I'm covering all three of the top holes. Remove my ring finger. When it's a snake, you have A. When it's a mosquito, just one pinch, it's B. So G, A, B. Now we go to our lower notes that need less air. We have E. When you hold a G and you add these two, the snake on your right hand. Then you have F sharp, which is these bottom two. Then you have D, which is now putting all these three down. All right, so E, F sharp, D. Let's go from G to A to B, then to E, F sharp, D. Let's go. Cool. So those are 6 notes. Now let's go to our slightly higher notes. Let's take it to high C and high D. So let's first take it from a B, then we go to C and then to D. All right, so B, once again, our single pinch. C is like a B, but instead of putting your index finger here, you're going to put your middle finger here and remove your index finger. And now we get high C. And then high D is exactly the same as high C, except you remove your thumb. Remove the thumb. So that means you're going to need to hold it with the other hand. And remember, no baby position. No holding on the mouthpiece, no holding down here. So let's go B, high C, high D. Again. Now we're going to bring in our new note, high E. So how you play this note is you hold your regular E, which is these three, which is that G note, and you add these two. That's your regular E. But that's called low E. To make it high E, you're going to do an interesting little trick. You're going to take your thumb, hopefully you can see it, and you're going to cover the thumb halfway. You're going to cover that hole halfway. So usually you cover the whole hole so you don't get a squeaky sound. So if I cover the whole hole, this is how it sounds. If I don't cover the whole hole, it sounds like this. And that's actually what we're looking for. So we want to uncover half of the hole. So our thumb is going to cover half of the hole. This gives us a little extra air that allows us to play high E. So high E is exactly the same as a low E, except the thumb uncovers half. And this is how it sounds like. Again. This is high E. Now if I cover the whole hole, I get low E. Low E. Let's try changing from low E to high E. Remember, the trick is in uncovering half the hole. So make sure you cover only half the hole for high E. Cover the whole hole for low E, the whole hole. All right, let's go for it. Low E, then high E. 3, go. High E. Low E. High E. Alright, so make sure you practice that a couple of times. You need to pause and just practice it by yourself till you can really get that high E. Because we're now going to try and do an exercise that's going to go from that one of our highest notes to that new high E. So let's try now change from a high D to a high E. Now the reason why this is going to be tricky is because for a high D, we only have one finger on the record, and that's our middle finger. Remember, for a high D, we remove the thumb. But now to go to that high E, we're going to add in these 1, 2, 3, 4 extra fingers and cover the whole halfway. So let's try change from high D to high E slowly. We're going to play high D for 3 beats and then high E for 3 beats. So let's go for high D. 3, go. High E, high D, high E, high D, high E, last time, high D, high E. All right, and remember the trick is in uncovering half the whole. All right, now hopefully you've gotten comfortable with that high D. Let's try going from G to A to B to high C to high D and then to high E. So G, A, B, C, D, high E. Hope you're ready. Let's go for it. Each one we're going to hold for 2 beats. 3, G, A, B, C, high D, high E. Let's do it again from G. 3, 2, 1, go. A, B, C, D, high E. Now let's try to go backwards from high E to G. So we're going to go high E, C, B, A, G. 3, 2, let's go. High E, high D, high C, B, A, G. One more time from high E, then we'll take it to our P. So high E, high D, C, B, A, G. 3, go. High E, high D, high C, B, A, G. All right. So if you haven't yet got that high E, practice it over and over again. Remember, the trick is in just uncovering half the hole on your thumb. All right. Hopefully you're still awake because we're going to go to our piece. Are you sleeping? All right. So first thing we should notice is we have an F sharp here. So wherever that hashtag is means sharp. And then we're in the time signature of 4/4, meaning we have 4 beats in every bar. So that means we'll have 4 counts in every bar. By now, that should be pretty straightforward. So let's start off by clapping the rhythm. You're going to clap it with me once. Make sure you're saying the tas, the ta-ahs. Make sure you get 100% right. And the second time, you're going to do it by yourself. So let's go for it. 1, 2, are you sleeping? Ta, 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 ah, ta, 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 ah. Ti 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 ta ta ti 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 ta 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 ah ta 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 ah. Get ready by yourself in 5, 4, 3. Let's go. Make sure you're saying clapping out loud. Go. All right, so if you haven't yet got that rhythm good, just rewind a little bit and practice it more so it can become really easy when you come to that piece. So one unique thing about this piece is every bar is repeated the second time. All right, so this first bar is exactly the same as the second bar. This third bar is exactly the same as this fourth bar. This fifth bar is exactly the same as this sixth bar. And hopefully you guessed it, this seventh bar is exactly the same as, I hope you didn't say the fifth bar. The seventh bar is exactly the same as the eighth bar. So if you can play one bar of this piece, you can play the second bar. If you can play the third bar, you can play the fourth bar. And pretty much you're halfway there. So let's start off by looking at our first bar. What is this note? It is on the second line. What sentence do we use for our line notes? I'm not going to tell you, but I want to make sure that you learn it and you have it memorized for yourself. So we have every good. So that is a G. Then we have a space note, our second space note. What do we use to remember the notes in our space? We hit our noggin. No, we hit our face. So F, A. That's our A note. So far we have G, A. Can you guess this third note? It's not really a guess. You should be able to calculate and know which note this is. So it's on the third line. That means it's a B, correct. And then we go back to this one. It's exactly the same as the first one. So it's a G. So we have G, A, B, G. Let's play that out on our recorder. Make sure you know those notes so this can become super simple. 1, 2, 3, go. Again. Let's go for the second bar since it's exactly the same as the first bar. G, A, B, G. Let's go for the first and second bar. 3, go. One more time. Let's go. Hopefully you know this song. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Let's go to bar number 3. We have our third line, so that's is a B. We go to our third space, so that is our high C. I'll just call C sometimes, or high C, it's the same thing. Then we go to our fourth line, which is our high D. So B, C, high D. And remember that high D, it's a minim or a half note. So you have to hold it for 2 beats. Let's go. From bar number 3. 1, 2, 3, go. So let's put bar number 4 and bar number 5 together because they're exactly the same. 3, go. There's your rest mark, that's your breath mark, so you can take a breath over there before we go to the next part. So let's go from bar number 1 till bar number 4. 3, go. Nice, super easy. Now, let's go for bar number 5. This is where things get slightly tricky. And I need my right hand so I can't point it out anymore. So make sure you're following those notes. We have high D, then here comes our high E. Okay? High D, high E. So let's try that switch that we were trying before from high D to high E. 3, and remember it's going to be T-T. So if this is my beat, ta, ta. So it's going to be slowly T-T, T-T, D-E, D-E, D-E. Let's slow down even a bit more. D-E, T-T, D-E, D-E. Just let's play that D-E. Nice and slow. Let's go. Let's go. High D, high E. D, E. Now let's go D, E, back to a high D. 3, go. Again. Again. Slower. Last time. Then let's take it back to our C. Remember for that high E, uncover half the hole. Okay, half the hole with your thumb. So let's go high D, high E, back to high D, then to C. All with T, 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 T. Okay, let's go for it. 3, go. Again. 2 more. Last time. Let's finish off bar number 5 with a B, G. All right, B, G. Let's just play that B, G. 3, go. Again. Let's put the whole of bar 5. So D, E, D, C, B, G. 3, go. Go. Again. Slower. Slower. really slow. Let's try play it twice in a row, cause bar number 5 and bar number 6 are exactly the same. 3, go. Again. Now let's finish off bar 7, bar 8. G. Which note is this? Looks like it's hanging. It's not just hanging, it's dangling. So that means it's dangling. D. Dangling dynamite. So G, G, D, G, G, D, G. And remember, for low D, use little air. If you don't, it will be squeaky and it will not sound good. So let's go for the last 2 bars. Ready? Go. And don't forget to hold those minims, those half notes, for 2 beats. Easy stuff. Let's try to play those bar 7, bar 8 a little bit quicker. 3, go. Let's take it from bar number 5 till bar number 8. A bit slow because bar number 5 and 6 move quick. 3, go. So don't forget that high D, high E. Get ready for how to put your thumb halfway. 3 from bar number 5, let's go. All right, and so really important, make sure your thumb is always here, because you're going to be moving very quickly from those high Ds to those high E's. So you need to have these fingers, even though they're floating, nearby. You don't want them here because you're going to have to move way too far to get here. So make sure your thumb is here so those fingers are ready. Let's try the whole piece from bar 1 to bar 8. Nice and slow. Go. Now let's take it a little bit slower because those high Ds and high E's really snuck up on us. So let's go 1, 2, slower. All right, now I want to hear you do it by yourself. I'm just going to point out the notes. Make sure you're following. In 1, 2, 3, let's go. A, B, G. Bar 4. B, C, D. D, E, D, C, D, G. G, G, G. All right. Now I want you to try play it, and I'm gonna sing the words. 3, go. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. All right, grade 4. So that's Are You Sleeping? The only tricky part that's come in is that high E. So make sure you practice it. It just takes a little bit of practice to get used to it. And you have to also practice it switching between other notes. Switching between high D and high E. That's what's going to make you really get that high E really well. So very popular song, Are You Sleeping? Have fun practicing it. The more you practice it, the quicker you'll be able to play this high D, high E. Whoever can play it super quick, that just shows that they've practiced a lot. But the point is not to play it extremely quick, as quick as you can. It's to get your fingers moving from having many fingers on the recorder to having little fingers on the recorder. If you can do that, that means you're becoming more dexterous with your fingers, okay? So have fun practicing this, and I'll see you next week for our last piece.